co-founder of Rewardz, and we started almost 4 years ago. I started this company with my wife, who's here, co-founder as well. And the brief history is that Nicole works in HR, and she used to come back and tell me about all the myriads of problems she's facing at work in organizing fun challenges and managing social well-being of the staff. And as I, a dutiful husband, had to solve all those problems, so we we ended up starting Rewardz. So that's a bit about us. We have done some great things in the last 4 years. We have been in the market. We have launched. We have 100 clients, a lot of engaged customers, and we are in the space of employee engagement and customer loyalty. That's the space we operate. So all our products are about employee engagement and customer loyalty. So I won't go too much in detail about our products and services. We have a booth just next door. You can come pop by and we'll tell you all in detail about us. Today I want to focus on something more basic than that. I want to share with you some deep insights and learnings from rolling out our products. How does engagement on apps actually work? How does apps like, we just heard some very interesting statistics on Facebook. So we heard like people check apps 2,000 times of social media apps are checked. So we probably want to delve deeper into that concept, that how does user engagement works, what role does gamification and rewards have to play there. So we'll talk about those, and these are some of the learnings which we have taken from rolling out our products across these 100 clients last 4 years. We have failed, learned, and tried to improve. So I'll start with a very, very interesting fact. I'm going to tell you, every one of you here, almost each one of you here, are using Rewardz on a daily basis. You're probably using it on hourly basis. Now some of you may disagree with me and say, no, that's not true at all. I don't use all these coupons, discount coupons you get. I'm not into that. I don't play games. I don't play games where I get rewarded for moving level up. I don't do that. I don't even use credit cards. And given all the push around e-payments, this will all be removed. So I'm not into credit cards, etc. But really, I'm not referring to these very visible reward mechanisms. We are going to go one level deeper than that. I'm sure all of you here use some sort of social media app, and we just heard amazing stats about them. Now, when you use a social media app, one of the most engaging aspects of these apps is the news feeds. What are you doing there? You're always scrolling and finding the topic which interests you. That's what you do most of the time. So you'll keep scrolling. That's what most, either the topic or the photo. So that scrolling is the action, and that topic or photo which you get, which interests you, is the reward. And we play this game 2,000 times, as told by Facebook just now. So we keep playing this game day in, day out. So that's how ingrained reward psyche is when we don't even realize it. And this whole space is called variable rewards. So this is a very interesting topic to us. We have been researching in the space of variable rewards for the last 4 years, and we will try to share some more interesting details about variable rewards with you. But before I go there, before I talk about variable rewards, let's just go take a step back and look at how traditionally rewards work. What's the most common example of a traditional reward? You get your salary at the end of each month. It's a reward which you get. You get it fixed. It's start of the month. On a particular day, you know how much you are getting. But now tell me, does any of us here who get salary wake up in the morning and say, hey, I'm going to get rewarded at the end of the month. That's why I'm going to work. Or I'm going to be very engaged at work because I'm getting paid. Nobody does that. None of us, even if it's a very important reward to us, we don't get engaged by that. Now, over a period of time, the organizations have become clever. They give you variable bonuses, which are linked to certain tasks. You close a sale, you'll get a certain bonus at the end of the year. You are doing well at your work, certain KPIs, you are making certain number of calls, you get rewarded. Banks are even better. They have linked like you sell these many products to the client, you do whatever possible to sell a product, and you'll get rewarded at the end of the month. And end of the year. Where it all ended in 2008. Didn't work out well, right? I think this whole rewarding mechanism where you make rewarding tied to a very well-defined task. It doesn't work. As human beings, we figure out very soon that this is what we need to do. We'll find ways to hack it, manipulate it, and at the very least, we'll get bored of it. We won't find it exciting enough after a while. Same thing as fixed salary. So if you know this is what you want to do to get this reward, it doesn't work. So then coming back to my previous question, that how should you actually be rewarding to get that level of maximum engagement? So I'm summarizing all our failings and findings in 3 key learning points. The first one is you got to make it unpredictable. The reward should be unpredictable. Now this is actually not very intuitive. Let's suppose I organize a fun challenge. You are doing a fun challenge in your office or you're in your product, and you say that at the end of this challenge you'll get iPhone. And that's where you've lost half the engagement. We did it and we failed. And as soon as you say that, hey, there's a mystery prize at the end of this challenge, people are curious. They are engaged. They'll keep doing the challenge and figuring out what that mystery prize is. Till the last day, they're still thinking, what is the mystery prize I'm going to get? So that's what I mean by make it unpredictable. Second is that you have to link it to what people like. So maybe initially when you roll out a product, you don't really know what your people prefer, what their likings and what they don't like. But over a period of time, you figure that out. You know what your customers like, and you got to tap on it. Invariably, whenever we launch any fitness challenge, we see that a same cyclist who before the challenge was going for cycling twice a day, as soon as we put him in this challenge mode, he starts cycling 4 times a day. Because we are rewarding, we are motivating and creating an environment where he's doing what he loves. So that's what I mean that we have to tap on what the person likes. And the last is, it got to be social. Now, if I say social is a very broad word, in terms of rewarding, I will link it to 2 very key things. One is that your happiness should be linked to the group's happiness. So whatever is your circle, if it's your team, it's your organization, in your Facebook, it's all your friends, you feel happy if you see your friends or groups happy. If somebody is having a baby and you see a video of it or photo of it, you feel happy. If your team does well, you feel happy. So that's what I mean, you make it social. And then it should be public. Your achievement, your group's achievement should be made public. Once you do that, that's what I mean by making it social in these terms. Now just think back the first example of scrolling I just mentioned to you. When we scroll, that whole thing of scrolling and getting engaged to the app, it's social obviously, these are social media apps. It's unpredictable, you don't really know when you're scrolling what you are going to get. And all these algorithms are all the time trying to figure out what you like, what you really like. I'll send you that, I will feed you that. So it's not really surprising that why they are so engaging. Going forward, let me share with you some real case studies. These are our clients who we have in the last 3 years sometimes failed and implemented these principles and made it work. So these are some of our real clients which I will try to apply these principles in real scenarios and hope you'll find it useful. So one of the first one is a very classic problem in the wellness industry. Like once we started, every client will pose this question to us, that how can you design a program which works for everyone? I don't want that just the top 20%, the people who are actually into fitness, to benefit from it. I want those bottom 20% who are actually unfit, those are the ones who are making medical claims. They should be the ones participating in the program. And we stumbled. The first year we couldn't solve this problem. We'll always get the top 30, 40, 50% engaged. So I'll talk about how intrinsic motivation, just that knowledge of intrinsic motivation, helped us solve this problem. So we had this large manufacturing company with offices in Singapore, Malaysia, and India. We organized a steps challenge with them. Steps challenge, if anybody who doesn't know, it's a very fitness-oriented activity. You take more steps, you exercise a lot, you run, you count more steps. We saw first year their Singapore team, amazing, doing very well, enjoying it, there's a lot of sharing, they are top the leaderboard. India, Malaysia, okay, not lukewarm response. People are just not getting into the group. So we're scratching our head what to do, how to get the India team and Malaysia team on board. And we thought, like when we looked at the health stats of there, because our platform captures the health stats, we saw that Singapore team, generally fit. Fitness level, majority of the people are in the healthy range. Usually exercise, was normally exercising without the challenge. India team, majority of them are the overweight or obese category. Most of them don't have the habit of exercising. Took their feedback. A lot of them send them feedback email that why didn't you participate in this challenge that much. A lot of them said that we just can't compete with the Singapore team. They are just too far ahead. We lost interest in it in the first week itself. So, but what do you want? What do you want us to do? Said, we want to be fit. That's what the challenge was all about. We were trying to make you fit, but you can't compete. So finally, the magic answer came that maybe we should arrange a different kind of challenge which taps into their level. So then next year we organized a weight loss challenge. And now we saw that the performance caught up. Like so, India team was doing very well. They were at the top of the leaderboard in this challenge. They were losing weight, they were enjoying the process, they were enjoying also the tips which were sent to them, the webinars which were arranged, which were teaching them how to eat healthy, what sort of exercise to do to lose weight. And once they have gone through that, the third year the steps challenge was more equally distributed, where overall the workforce was almost at the same level. The three countries were similar fitness level. We saw much greater participation in the steps challenge. So this is a real case study run over 3 years where we have improved things. The point I'm trying to make here is that if you tap on the right intrinsic motivation, you can change it. So we learned that next time we'll do any wellness challenge, we'll always start with lose to win challenge. Even if it says slightly lesser participation, at least we'll bring the workforce in at the same level, and then we will implement something like a more fitness focused challenge. I think another very classic case study, it happens a lot, that how do you motivate employees or staff who are working in a very repetitive, strenuous environment? Classic example is a call center. A call center job is a job which is very, very hard. You have to call clients are not really receptive. You get back sometimes very rude comments. On top of that, companies put very stringent KPIs. Like, you have to make these many calls. You have to come on time. You can't do this, you can't do that. Imagine the amount of stress these guys go through. So we were given this problem to solve. This is the very latest thing which we have solved with a bank in Singapore. That there was these call center staff which are very demotivated. They were actually meeting their KPIs, but the business goals were not met. The business was not meeting their sales target, which they were given. So here we try to apply our social learning, and we suggested very small tweaks. We said, please divert some of your budget from these very stringent KPI-driven objectives. Make the rewarding a bit more social. Let the people enjoy outside the office. Organize an amazing race, amazing hunt, or something like a steps challenge or a cycling challenge. Let people mingle a bit. Some of the people will share their learnings before and after. There will be a general reduction of stress, which is what the organization was struggling with. And also, we said that move to peer-to-peer rewarding. So that earlier, the rewarding was the supervisor will decide based on these KPIs and reward the call center staff. We told them that let the colleagues decide it. We'll give you a platform where colleagues can recommend the other person, maybe even reward them with points which are real vouchers, comment on him, give him constructive feedback, and let this product run. And you see the effect of it after 1 year. That how does, when actually genuinely somebody recommends you, how does it work? So these two things we have been following with this client for the last 6 months. Their business goals are still yet to be identified, whether they have improved the sales performance, but we are receiving constant feedback that the stress levels have gone down. People are enjoying coming to work and there's less attrition. Last case study I will share with you is about actually an insurance company. This is something which we launched just 3 months back, and we have immediate results of this. where we had this very sophisticated app of one of these insurance companies. It's a safe driving app which uses telematics, and the rewards there was one time, once a year. Very similar to my fixed salary example. Like at the end of the year, after tracking your safe driving for a whole year, I will give you a reward fixed percentage at the end of the year. So, app even, I think technology-wise, great app. I used it, I loved it. But just because the rewarding was so fixed, it was not engaging enough. People were not lasting on the app for the whole year. So here what we did was we made it much more unpredictable. So we started giving them small badges for small tasks. Like if you meet your daily, if you do 100 kilometers safe driving with a certain level, then you'll get some Q10 voucher. So there were dynamic tasks being set for the drivers on a weekly basis. They were redeeming these badges, and they were redeeming instant discounts or real dollar value vouchers. And since last 3 months, we have seen almost 150% engagement rate rising on a month-on-month basis. So it's been a great experiment for us that just making such small tweaks, which is not a big technology change, just making those rewards unpredictable, things have worked. So I'll end my presentation there. If you want to know more about our products, please come to our booth. But in general, if you have any rewards or engagement which you are trying to do with your customers, we'd love to hear about it. Thanks a lot.
That's great. Thank you for that.